All had a wonderful weekend. I'm always like, oh, it's a little cloudy, and then I have to find something to wipe it with. And I happen to clean my desk, and so I don't really have anything. Just gonna wipe you guys off. Give me one sec. That's better. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We got a bunch of snow yesterday. We were snowed in. The kids got to play outside in the snow. Laurel had a blast. We had to like drag her in, kicking and screaming. she was like this close to catching hypothermia, and she's like, ah, no, I don't want to go outside. It was kind of cute though. It's like, okay, Laurel, it's time to go inside. Yeah. Good morning. All right, let me see. Subscribers only. Custom. Once. Steve. All right. I think we should be good. All right, cool. All right, so it's coffee chat, our first one of the new year. Oh yeah, my kid. Yeah, they're like, Mom, is it canceled? We had a 2-hour delay, so that was nice. That's why I'm mostly on time. A little, maybe like 3 minutes late, is because it was a 2-hour delay. Oh, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for the raid, Jen. Thank you. Thank you very much. You want to sell on Niknax, but you can't see how. Well, come on over to Niknax. You got to be on knickknacks.net, and then you hit the apply button. You can apply to become a seller. All right, well, let me see what we've got in the way of notes today. Ooh, here we go. Notes. So happy New Year, everybody. This, like I said, this is our first coffee chat of the new year. I think it's going to be an amazing year for Knickknacks. I'm so excited. Last year was incredible. I never expected Knickknacks to like I knew that like it was going to be cool. I mean, it was going to be like a cool thing, you know, but I never in a million years expected us to be where we are today. Going into 2025, and almost 35,000 members, 4,000 sellers, you know, $2 million business. Like it's insane. It's insane how far we've come. But I think it's just a testament to like how fed up everyone is with these corporate e-commerce sites that don't really care about anybody but the money. You know, I think that's like a testament to that, you know. It's amazing. It's incredible. And I'm so excited to see where we're going to be in 2025. So yeah, let's talk about this past week and how much we've grown in just this week alone. So you guys ready for how many members we've gained in just 1 week? Because it's kind of crazy. We did have a huge event this weekend. I think that kind of helped a little bit with that traction. But we gained 594 new members since last week, which is insane. So welcome to all of our new members. Welcome to Knickknacks. We love having you here. If the glass is what brought you, I can promise you that a lot of our sellers will continue to bring the glass. It is a passion here. It is absolutely a passion here. Not just glass, but pottery, jewelry, all sorts of pretty shiny things. So welcome to Knickknacks, and we are so thrilled to have you here. This is the place to be. So welcome. Welcome to our almost 600 new members in 1 week. We're very excited to have you. So I added 4 new sellers. I started adding sellers, and then I got a little distracted. So welcome to our 4 new sellers. We're also very happy to have you as new sellers. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the number, and this is what I'm always watching. I'm always watching how many viewers, how many buyers we have in our live sales, how many sales we're having on the platform, even, in buy it now sales, before I start bringing in new sellers. And lately, if you're just, on our homepage, scrolling around, looking at our live sales, I mean, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. The attendance in our live sales, buy it now sales are popping off. I mean, we're pretty healthy as far as, in my opinion, as a marketplace. And so that's why you're going to see me adding more sellers. You did your first show this. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy. I hope that it was wonderful for you. But it's just, it's wonderful. I love to see everybody, succeeding, maybe not just in sales, but, in feeling at home in the community, and being encouraged, and uplifted. And it just makes me happy. So, those are our Knickknacks stats. We have 92,500 listings. That's 1,100 new listings from last week. That's quite a few more. That number always fluctuates depending on whether our sellers are on vacation, if we have new listings, live sales, somebody will do like quantity sale, so it always fluctuates, but we have 1,100 new listings. So make sure to all of our new members that you are browsing the home page. We have crazy number of buy it now listings. Really, really cool stuff. I mean, I think I've actually bought more buy it now listings than I have in live sales. I bought some pretty crazy stuff off of the buy it nows, and I'm pretty pleased with my purchases. I mean, listen, I got a hippo sitting over here. You can't go wrong. So this is our shop hippo. He just hangs out here. Got him on Niknax. So let's talk about Mainly Made. Mainly Made is our sister marketplace. It is like a complement to Niknax. We started it as a place for our handmade artists that also call Knickknacks home. So it's all handmade. So if you are a fan, if you are passionate about handmade artistry, go and check out Mainly Made. You can find it at district.net/mainly made. That is the URL for that. So you can go to district.net/mainly made. Go and check it out. You can support some of our artists, show them some love. There are art hangouts on Thursday, and it's really fun just to pop in and show up and see what everybody's up to, and maybe show some support there. So Mainly Made is currently at 2,210 members. That's 36 new members since last week. So Mainly Made has also grown by 36 members. 405 sellers. We have 3,100 listings. And as I said, please go and support Mainly Made. Hop on over there, give that marketplace a follow. I know that our friends over there appreciate it. So go and show some support. Think about popping in there. And also our marketplaces are linked. So if you are a live seller on Niknax, remember that you can always raid into Mainly Made and vice versa. So I always encourage you guys to work together. You can raid back and forth. That's always a possibility. And I've told you guys this before. If you comment in a marketplace, you automatically become a member. It's kind of like a little tidbit. So if you raid into a sale, in Mainly Made, the first thing you do is you ask a question and you say, "Hey, what's your favorite color?" It can be any question. "What did you have for lunch today?" And as soon as somebody responds, they're going to become a member of the marketplace. So, that's incentive to ask silly questions. And we always joke about like kidnapping. Just, you can braid over, make it happen. Anyway, let's talk about our event this weekend because it was insane. Kidnapping. It's a little bit of like a kidnapping. Let's talk about this event this week. This was insane. I am so thrilled with how the event went this weekend. Hey, J Ride. Good to see you. The event this weekend was insane. Like, it blew my mind. Like, I thought it would be fun. I'm like, oh, this will be fun. Let's have a glass event. It was insane how crazy the event went how well the event went this weekend. So as you guys know, we have been having a glass event the first weekend of every month for the past year. It has been led by Jenny Kay. She has done a wonderful job leading it the first weekend of every month for all of 2024. In 2025, we decided, you know what, let's revamp this. And so as Niknax, we decided, you know what, we're gonna take charge of this. We're going to revamp it. And it was nuts. So we shrunk the time slots from an hour to half hour just to keep the momentum going. And I think that definitely, helps move things along. I think everybody on the train made sales. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that everybody had sales, not just live sales, but also buy it now sales. If they were to put items in their buy it now, they were also making sales. In addition to that, we were making sales off of the homepage. So I also featured glass on the homepage. Sales were popping off on the homepage. So it was, yes, in the buy it now. Yep. So I think it was a success, I would say. It was definitely a great start to 2025. It might have actually been, I don't know if it was our best weekend. It was definitely our best weekend of 2025. It might have been one of our top weekends ever, to be honest, top weeks ever. I don't know if it's the best week, but it was one of our top weeks ever. And I think that stems from the fact that, one of my passions has always been glass, and that translates to my videos on YouTube. And so when I say, let's have a glass event, let's have a glass event. Oh yes, please remember to check out the shop somewhere around here. I have featured items from around the marketplace from a lot of our wonderful sellers. So if you want to support our sellers on the marketplace, make sure you check out what I've got in the buy it now. So all of that being said, we are going to have another glass event. We are not going to continue that cadence of monthly. We're not going to do that. There's a few reasons for that. I feel like when you continue to do it every month, it kind of, I feel like it takes away the novelty of it. I think what we've decided to do is instead to make it quarterly. For a few reasons. That'll give us the opportunity to, as sellers, to start sourcing really nice pieces. That was one thing I noticed in our stats, is that the cost per piece increased. So that means, we were even over the past 3 days, we're I'm trying to pull up our analytics. The cost per sale, like, our average went up, and I think that's because the quality went up. And I think that'll give our sellers time to source better quality, find the better pieces, because it's not every day you're going to find an amazing piece for like $3. Yes, Vamp is separate from Niknax. It is run by somebody else. So if you're over there, it's completely different. It's not the same sellers. And it's not run the same, not different guidelines, different owner. Yes, yeah, it is separate within district. I mean, it's still the same platform, but it's not the same. Hang on, I just lost my notes. There we are. So that was really cool to see is that increase in the average. So that's one of the reasons we are going to wait until quarterly. There's that. And then also, our buyers. I feel like if our buyers are really excited about this quarterly train, it'll give them the opportunity to save up. Be like, oh my gosh, we've got this really awesome event coming up. We are going to start saving because we know that these sellers are going to be bringing it. They've got 3 months to like source this glass. I better start saving now. Now we've got one under our belt. I mean, we can bring some pretty cool stuff. So that's why we're going to switch it. So the next glass gallery will be in April. That is the plan. So quarterly. Now, that being said, we are having Fenton in February. So that'll be all Fenton. It's still a glass train, technically, because Fenton is glass, but it's very specific. It is all Fenton, and that is happening next month. So we are having like specific trains. And then we're going to have a paperweight train. That's going to be all paperweights, but those aren't necessarily all glass. You can have different types of Murano sale. See, here's the problem with the Murano sale is that I feel like a lot of people have difficulty identifying Murano, and then it just and then we lose credibility with a lot of collectors. It would just kind of be a disaster. I feel like Fenton is relatively easy because a lot of it is marked. It makes it simpler. And also it's pretty good. There's a lot of resources out there. Pottery. Yes, I love pottery. We could definitely do a pottery sale. I don't know. So here's the thing is as far as Niknax trains go, last year we were doing 2 a month. This year we're really trying to focus on one big event a month. Because I don't know if you noticed last year, we were trying to do 2 a month, and one was kind of just not performing as well as the other. And so we kind of want to shift our focus into just one event every month and really put all of our focus into one event and really make it like the best. So that's kind of what we're doing in 2025. We don't want to split our focus. Now, granted, we had a glass gallery sale this month, and we're doing the Owl and Valentine's Day event this month. And we'll probably do 2 events in April because, again, it's quarterly. But just in general, we're going to be doing one big event. Knicknacks sponsored every month. That doesn't mean our sellers can't come up with awesome trains and have the trains. All right. All right, let me see. I'm trying to get through the notes. Once I get through the notes, I will take questions. I will answer questions. Okay, the post office is closed on the 9th. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. I know I've seen posts around announcing that, but I just so everybody is aware. I got this one here that just keeps getting in my face. The USPS is closed on the 9th in honor of Jimmy Carter. So if you were not aware, please keep that in mind that you will not be able to ship on the 9th because it is a day of mourning for Jimmy Carter. So plan accordingly. If you're having sales, make sure if you're having a sale, make sure your buyers are aware. Like, hey, I can't ship on this day, so these will go out on this day. Please make sure. I do not know the status on Canadian shipping. I have not been given a status update. Hopefully, maybe today in my meeting with district, I can get an update. It is a day of mourning for Jimmy Carter. That is what it is. Okay, so it has been turned back on. We are waiting on. Is it Shippo? I think no. It's who's Shippo? Is that the one who does it? Yeah, Shippo. Okay. Yes, so we're waiting on them. We're waiting on them. Okay, so in case you missed our last 2 chats, which you may have because they were kind of like right in the midst of all the chaos of the holidays, we did have some announcements that we made regarding new and exciting things for 2025. One of those, well, I'll just go through them. Oh, Christina's like, point to the shows from the previous weeks, but I'll go over them real quick with you guys. And if you wanted to, you can always go back and rewatch. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can rewatch shows on Niknax. So if you look up Crazy Lamp Lady, if you look up my username on District, here we are. So if you look up Crazy Lamp Lady here, and you scroll this way, you go to live streams. There is a record of all of my previous live streams, so you can go back and watch the replays. And so all of our previous coffee chats are available. So if you ever miss a coffee chat and you want to go back and rewatch, you can rewatch it. I also stream these to Facebook and YouTube. Usually after a while, I will turn the YouTube over to members only. But if you're over on YouTube and you're like, oh man, it's members only, I missed it, you can always come over to YouTube. I'm sorry, you can always come over to Knicknacks and you can watch the whole thing. I mean, they're all here. I don't know how long back it goes, but all of the replays that goes for anybody. The pickle shows, I know. I just started using that as my thumbnail. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use a jar of pickles. It makes sense. And it's very specific, I'm like, hey, come over to Knicknacks. Just look for the thumbnail with the pickles. It works. Oh, you were able to watch your show from a year ago? There you go. So you can go all the way back a year and watch. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. Yeah, a lot of platforms, you can only go back a few weeks. So you can actually go back an entire year to watch shows. So that's kind of crazy. Go back and be like, oh my gosh. Go back to your very first live show ever and be like, oh my gosh, look how far I've come. Kind of nuts. So if you want to go back, you can watch the past 2 weeks of coffee chats. But otherwise, I'll just cover what we covered over the last 2 weeks briefly, so that those of you who were here are like, oh my gosh, here we go again. A few things. First of all, and I did touch base on this right before the holidays, but we are going to have help desk. We have help desk now. We have a help desk app as a team. So what that means essentially is that you can now reach out to our team via an email. What was happening is that our team members were getting DMs, and it was kind of spreading us out because, Christina would get a DM about something that happened, and then Mary would get a DM about something that happened, and it may involve the same buyer or the same seller, but there wasn't a communication there. And so we weren't able to recognize patterns and things that were happening where we could have been like, oh my gosh, we got to get, that reminds me, I'm going to write this down. I have to look up a buyer that was giving us issues over the glass train. Let me write that down. A glass train buyer. I might be booting somebody today. So the reason for the help desk is so that we can have a record of all of the messages. So they're all going to one place, and I can look at the messages and I can say, oh my gosh, this person contacted us about this buyer, and then this person contacted us about this buyer, and they're requesting all of these refunds from multiple sellers. Looks like we need to look into this. And if they're like going after multiple sellers asking for refunds, something's up. Something's up. Maybe they need to get gone. Maybe they need to leave Niknax. They shouldn't be here. And that's one thing that I think we do that maybe other platforms don't. But I've got our sellers back in that aspect. If we see a buyer who's requesting multiple refunds without a valid reason, if it's just like, I don't know. If it's not a valid reason, I understand a valid reason, and I can look at something and be like, oh, okay, I understand that, buyer's remorse, basically. If I see a pattern and buyer's remorse over multiple sellers, I'm going to boot that buyer. I'm just going to do it. The reason I'm going to do that is because I understand as a seller, how that feels, especially if, you're living sale to sale, and, that could mean, buying groceries for the week, and, you've made this money in a sale, and it's like, okay, now I can, buy groceries. And then that buyer's like, oh my gosh, I need to cancel this sale because I don't like this item, or I made a mistake. I didn't actually want this. Like, no, that's not a good excuse. So I'm going to boot that buyer because it's not a thing. So I've got your back as sellers, but I've also got your back as buyers. That's important to note too. So I look at everything. And, so I forgot. So that's the point of help desk. The point of help desk is so that we can see all of these patterns, and we're not spread out, and you're not, we don't have somebody sending a message to Christina, a message to me, a message to Mary. I can see everything. I can see, where is the help desk? Okay. So you're going to want to email community@knicknacks.net. If you're having an issue, all right, I'm going to write it up here. I'm going to write the hose notes. Edit. Community at, I wish I could save from sale to, like I could be like, all right, these are my coffee chat notes. And every coffee chat, I can have these same notes. That would be awesome. Okay. Okay. Community@knicknacks.net is where you will need to email. If you have a buyer who's requesting a bunch of cancellations, a Shop the Vintage Shop reached out to us about, something going on that was kind of suspicious. So it's like, okay, well, and then it's like, all right, well, this is weird. And I was able to recognize something, and now I'm going to look into it, but it's important, because by reaching out to us, you're then protecting other sellers. And that's what the community is all about. By reaching out to us and letting us know something, we're then able to protect other members of the community. And that's kind of what Niknax is all about. That's what it's supposed to be all about, is, looking out for one another. And I realize, there is a sense of, okay, we're all here to make money. There is a little bit of competition here. I get that. We're all here to make money. And in a sense, we're all kind of in competition. I mean, I'm not, but I get that everybody's kind of a little bit in competition, but we're all looking out for each other, if you understand what I'm saying. So that's the point of help desk. The email is up here. If you have any issues at all, please let us know. It doesn't mean we're always going to act on something. The team will tell you, I will not act on anything until I have all the facts. I am very, very thorough in getting all of the facts. I usually send out a warning first and foremost, just a written warning, and then I will act. I will not just take action without sending out a warning or getting the details, or reaching out and getting some, details first, getting both sides of the story. So that's important to also point out. So help desk, please. remember. And it is our team. Someone asked in a previous coffee chat if we're doing a virtual assistant, but no. So currently on help desk, it is me, Mary, and Christina. We're the ones on help desk. Oh, thank you. I found it it's got birds on it, so I stuck it on my pinky. So we're the ones currently on help desk, because it is a little spendy, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, just to keep the marketplace operating smoothly, especially with where we're at. We're at 34,000. Yeah. We're past 34,000 members. So, I mean, at this point, it's worth paying the fee to have the help desk to keep everything operating smoothly. All right. So that was one of the things that we've introduced going into 2025, help desk. So you're still going to reach out to district support about technical things. If there's technical issues like payment processing, if certain things, but if you reach out to us and we're not able to help you, we're going to direct you to district support. So if you're not sure about it, like who do I reach out to? And you reach out to community at Niknax and we're like, oh, this isn't something we can help you with. We can always guide you to district support. Okay. So remember that. Okay. Next thing we're introducing is a blog. I talked about this recently. We are starting a Knickknacks blog that I'm very excited about. Logan, who you guys know from the marketplace, he is an admin here. He has handled our quality, our marketplace quality, basically making sure that items are listed correctly. There he is. He has been with us since the beginning, and that has been his role over the past year. And one of my goals for 2025 was to give him a very I wanted to give him a bigger role. I wanted to give him a bigger role here on Knickknacks. And so yes, so he is going to be the editor of our blog. He's going to be the editor of our blog. So you'll be seeing a lot more from Logan. And yesterday we were kind of going back and forth with some ideas for this blog, and I'm so excited for it. I think it's going to be amazing. He has some wonderful ideas for articles and stuff to put out. So we're kind of going back and forth. I think launch is probably going to be the end of the month because we were kind of just going over like certain things, but we'll have multiple articles ready by the end of the month when we launch it. And it's not going to be behind a paywall or anything like that. But the goal of the blog is to post articles, for instance, fun articles like here's some reseller bolos. Like if you're out and about, like here's the top Pyrex patterns to look for when you're out at the thrift store, or here's tips for single moms looking to resell, or also we want to do spotlights on our members, on our sellers and our members, and stuff like that. So in addition to Logan creating these articles, because he is going to be writing some of the articles, we do at some point want to open this up to our members, our sellers and our members, to submit articles or blogs. So we that's actually reselling after retirement is one of the topics we were talking about yesterday. I'm like, well, I don't think that I could be the one to write that. He's like, me neither. So there you go. There you go. So that's what I was getting to. We were talking about how we're going to have members and sellers submit articles. Now, we can't guarantee that the articles are going to be posted. Like, we're not going to guarantee that, but you can submit the articles. And when you submit them, what's the advantage of submitting articles? Like, okay, I put all this work into writing this. What am I going to get out of it? It's going to be posted on Crazy Lamp Lady Facebook. It's going to be posted on Niknax Facebook. Obviously, it's going to be posted on the blog. And one of the requirements of the article is I want a blurb about you. If you're a seller, like, hey, I'm a seller on Niknax. This is my username. And then this is my favorite item I have listed right now on Niknax. If you're not a seller, this is my favorite item I've bought on Knickknacks. So that's kind of one of the things we want to see on these articles. So something to keep in mind. Like I said, we're going to be launching that at the end of the month. I think it's going to be so fun. I think it's going to be awesome. And I think it's going to add to. It's something I wanted to do since the beginning of Knickknacks. I really wanted to incorporate it into knickknacks.net, but there just isn't something built in. So we're going to host it off of knickknacks.net. The URL is actually going to be knickknacks.blog. I've already got the URL, knickknacks.blog. It's going to be off knickknacks.net because there's nowhere here on Knickknacks to host it. So you can find it on knickknacks.blog, but we're still building it. All right. So, and then lastly, we are going to start subscriptions. That was the last and final thing for 2025. We are going to start subscriptions. I talked about this in more detail last week. And essentially the subscriptions are going to be both well, mostly, so the subscription part is going to be paid webinars. So we are going to host webinars from subject matter experts on Niknax. So as the marketplace team, I mean, we watch the sales, we see the sales coming through, and we've recognized different sellers and members who are really good at certain things. And so what we would like is to ask them, and we haven't reached out to anyone yet. So don't be like, oh, they didn't reach out to me. We haven't reached out to anyone yet. But we would like to ask some of our sellers who eventually we'll be reaching out to host webinars about like certain subjects that can help them grow as sellers. Because another aspect that I really want for Knicknacks is not just to be a selling site. I also want it to equip sellers to grow as sellers. I want our sellers to learn and to become better sellers. That's important to me. So it's basically if I understand that some of our sellers are like, oh, well, I just do this part-time. I have a big job, like a full-time job. And this is just kind of a side thing. But if you really want to invest in growing as a seller, this could be an opportunity for you to, attend these webinars and learn from subject matter experts who are totally killing it on Niknax. So that is what the subscription is going to be. I know some people were a little bit nervous about the actual fee that we were going to charge. We were talking about $100 per month for multiple webinars. It's not just one. But in addition to that, and I talked to Eddie about this after our coffee chat, we're going to do like individual webinars. So you can sign up, like if you just want to do one webinar, like you're like, oh my gosh, I could really use some help learning about that. You can just purchase like one webinar and be like, okay, I want to go to that webinar, because you might not be interested in learning about, like if I was to do a webinar on social media and you're like, I would never want to be on social media. You don't have to do that, but you could just go to like one about, selling in bulk or something like that. Or scaling up your business, or, there you go. You can attend a webinar on scaling up your business and not worry about the one about social media. So we're going to have both options. We're also going to offer free webinars. For instance, how to polish paper with. So shipping, I think a lot of people would love a free shipping webinar. So we would offer a free webinar on shipping. I think that would be important to like to demonstrate, okay, here's the proper, form of shipping. This is how we ship glass, yes, shipping. So there you go. So I think a lot of people could benefit from that. And the entire marketplace could benefit from offering a free shipping webinar. It could benefit all of us, because unfortunately, when someone receives something and it's broken, it's not just a reflection on the seller, it's a reflection on the marketplace. And that's something to remember. And I know, I see it, I'm in all the whatnot, Reddits and the Facebook groups, because I like to see what people complain about on whatnot. Like, what are they complaining about whatnot? Because I want to make sure that we're not doing that. And it's usually, and this is the mindset of a lot of people, if something bad happens on whatnot, they don't just blame the seller, they blame the entire whatnot. And and that's why I'm so like, okay, well, we got to do this right, and we got to do this right, and we have to make sure our sellers are doing their best, and we have to, like, because it's not just a reflection of that seller, it's a reflection of the entire Knicknacks. So keep that in mind. It's a lot of pressure, actually. I was gonna say it's not that much, but it's a lot of pressure. So you are a reflection of the entire community. Keep that in mind. So that was kind of the last thing. So the 3 things going into 2025: help desk, blog, webinars. All right. Those 3 things. She says, read this before reading it out loud. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about, and we've seen this happening across the marketplace. We have updated our guidelines to reflect that we don't want this on the marketplace. It is under prohibited restricted items. I'm turning around. I'm going to show you. Let me show you. All right, so our restricted and prohibited goods. This section right here seems to be the issue that we continue to have on Knickknacks. So prohibited on Knickknacks. Mass-produced low-quality items in bulk from domestic and foreign sources, including but not limited. This is important. Included but not limited to Temu, Amazon, AliExpress, and Shein. And the next line, wholesale, custom, made-to-order products in bulk from domestic or foreign sources. Let me read that again. Wholesale, custom, made-to-order products in bulk from domestic or foreign sources. Okay, I read that twice. I read that twice because one thing we're seeing, and it's not like a problem on Niknax, but one thing we're seeing, and when we speak to these sellers, it comes back to this, to a common theme, and that is that these foreign entities, these foreign artisans, we will say, and that's how they present themselves. I'm a foreign artist and I create these things, are reaching out to sellers on Instagram, on Facebook. Actually, I went in through my Facebook. I don't usually look at my Facebook mess. I get dozens and dozens of Facebook messages a day through Crazy Lamp Lady, and that's why I don't usually respond. That's why I have a like an auto response, because I can't respond to all of them, so I have a auto response. But I did actually look through, and I had a few of these. So I had a few of these. I understand that they are targeting sellers. They're targeting sellers. So if you're a seller, you're probably going to receive these, or you have already received these. You may have followed through with these. You may have received these items. You're not allowed to sell these things on Niknax. Whether they are from China, India, Ukraine, any of these places. But they are artisans reaching out to sellers with custom products in bulk. And that's the key there, is that these are wholesale orders. You're ordering wholesale. They're custom, but wholesale. We don't want these items on Niknax. They're low quality. And I can tell you, if they're reaching out to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sellers, it's not like they're actually artisans. They're not it's not actually custom artisan. It's more than likely, it's more than likely something to do with Temu or Shein or something like that. So these items are not allowed on Niknax. We have contacted a few of our sellers who have sold these items. We have let them know these are not allowed. They are aware. We don't need to name any names, but if you're aware, but they're not allowed on Niknax. They're poor quality. They're pennies on the dollar. You can find them on Temu. You can find them on Shein. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them anywhere. And I understand, because there are vintage versions of these things. So it's hard, because you can see somebody selling the vintage versions. I mean, I had a whole little box of the vintage one. I'm talking about the animals, the glass animals at this moment. I had a whole little box of the vintage glass animals, and I knew they were vintage because they had the vintage Japan label on them. It was discolored. It was, and I bought them all, and I knew where they came from. I knew the provenance of them, and I knew they were vintage, and so I was okay with selling them. Yes, you bought them from me, you know. But I knew the provenance, and I felt comfortable selling them. But I want everyone to be vigilant about these things, because they are targeting sellers, and not just knick-knack sellers. I'm talking about sellers across the board, sellers who sell on Etsy, sellers who sell on Whatnot, sellers who sell on all the places. They're seeking out sellers through Facebook and through Instagram, and they are targeting them because they're just trying to pump out these low quality wholesale bulk items. And I'm just here to say they're not allowed on Niknax, and we will let you know. We'll send you a written warning. After the written warning, you will, if you're a live seller, you will receive a suspension. Okay, you get one warning and then you get a suspension. So that's how that works. And it is right here in the guidelines that if you sell these items, you will receive a warning and then you will receive a suspension. After the suspension, you may receive an even longer suspension. We may just remove you from Niknax entirely. Okay, that's how that works. And one of my goals for 2025 is not to be as nice. That sounds bad. Is not to let my niceness be taken for weakness and to try to be more firm. So that's me being firm. I care about all of you, but I also need to show you that I'm serious and I need to follow through. That's what Andrew says. You need to follow through. If you say you're going to do it, you need to do it. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll do it. I'll just do it. I'll do it. Yeah, that was our conversation a few weeks ago. He's like, just do it. You said you were going to. I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. You know what? But it felt good. It felt good to do it. And then I was like, okay, this is how I need to proceed. Oh, I switched over to my Crazy Lamp Lady feed. That's why I can't find the notes. I'm like, where are the notes? I'm not on my regular one. Shelby's back there. What are you looking for? Oh, okay, cool. She's shipping out the glass gallery. All right, let me get back to my notes. Empowered but fair. And I will tell you, like, even if I have to send you a written warning, it's not that I'm not like mad at you. I'm not gonna like cross you off the list. I'm not gonna like, I have to send you a warning. It doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm sorry, I have to say, but it doesn't mean I'm like going to like hate you. It doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean I'm going to target, like, even if I have to suspend you, same thing. It doesn't mean like, oh my gosh, she hates me now. It doesn't mean that. Okay. It just means this is what I've said. I have to follow through with it. I'm not picking on anyone. It's business. It's what I have to do. It's not personal. You just need to follow the rules so that I don't have to do these things. All right, let me see. Back to my notes. The multicasting. So there are guides to multicasting. I believe Sienna put out a guide to Instagram casting, which is a little bit tricky because you need a code. Like, the code makes it hard because you have to send the code from your computer to your phone to put it in. It's like an added thing. I know it's an added, I don't know why, but you have to like get the streaming code and then you have to send it from your computer to your phone, which, is sometimes a struggle. But you can multi-stream to Instagram, to Facebook, and to YouTube. I've always said if you're going to cast to YouTube, make sure that you are turning on subscribers only. It's very important. I think I've shown you guys before how that works. I'll show you again real quick. If you are on and if you're on YouTube, so this is my studio. I go to content, I go to live, and then from here I go to this one, and then customization, and then I click subscribers only. I always do custom. You can do any other, but for me, custom. My channel is 8 years old, so I've been Yeah, the trolls can get very spicy and they can get very crude and say some really yucky things. And those will get pushed right through to Niknax. There's advantages and disadvantages to having the comments pushed through. But this is how you do it. So it's really simple. It's, it's a few steps. I do it all the time. But even if you have 2 people watching, from YouTube, even if you have 50 subscribers, if you have 10 subscribers, they will find your channel and they will troll you. All right. So just beware. Oh, my YouTube channel is Crazy Lamp Lady. Oh, are you asking me? Like, it's Crazy Lamp Lady, of course. All right. I think that would be awesome if you didn't know my channel was Crazy Lamp Lady and you just came over here because you're like, I love Knicknacks. This is so awesome. And I was like, oh, by the way, I'm the Crazy Lamp Lady. Nice to meet you. That would just make my day if somebody actually didn't know that I was, in fact, on YouTube. All right. So wouldn't that be cool if somebody was like, oh, I just found Knickknacks because I was looking around. My boyfriend didn't know. That's awesome. I love that. I love that. All right, let's see. This is a good one. Thank you. Thank you. That's how I found you. Yes, in fact, I am on YouTube. All right. Thank you to all of the sellers who shouted each other out during the glass gallery. Absolutely. Who shouted out our buy it now sellers, because our buy it now sellers, like the morning of the glass gallery, I woke up and like, I'm seeing all these buy it now sales. It was like, whoa, it must be the morning of the glass gallery, because we had all of these, like these glass sales in the buy it now, like in my sales. Cause every morning I wake up, I look at sales. I'm like, okay, what are we selling today? Like what's happening? And like, I woke up, it was the morning of the morning, and I'm like, oh, it's the morning of the glass gallery. We've got all these. So I just think that's awesome. I think that's awesome. And, I think, it's just a little shout out, but it does go a long way to shout out our buy it now sellers. Absolutely. And speaking of, if you haven't checked out my store down here somewhere, click on the store icon, because I've got some cool stuff in there, and it's not mine. It's cool stuff I picked from around the marketplace from our buy it now sellers. So go and look at it and check it out. Yes. Also, everyone who knew who was coming up next in the train, shouted them out, let people know, like, oh, this person's got some cool stuff. I thought that was awesome. I unfortunately was like, who am I reading next? Christina, who am I? But I'm always not prepared. But thank you to everybody who was prepared and knew who's coming up next. And I apologize for not being on top of that. That's my bad. Basking in glass gallery after that's awesome. It was an amazing. I can't wait for the next one. I'm so excited, actually. I'm super excited. All right. So also, I just wanted to add real quick, and this is something that we've been mentioning in the previous coffee chats, is please make sure that you're including your measurements in your listings, even when you are doing live sales. Including your measurements, it's important. I mean, even I include measurements in my listings, but I'm like, for some reason, I always feel compelled to be like, oh, it's, and I always have my ruler and I'm always like showing you guys, but make sure you're including measurements in your listings. Condition is also very important, especially if there's damage. I know you're talking about it when you're live, but yes, Bandit says also more than one picture and condition. So important. It goes a long way with buyers. It's like, okay, there's just one picture. Like, I know for me, when I'm shopping and I'm looking and I'm like, that's it. I won't buy an item if there's only one picture. I want to know everything. I want to know, okay, what does the bottom look like? What does the inside look like? What does the side look like? It might be different if it's a live sale, but also if I can't make the live sale and I'm just wanting to put in a pre-bid and all I have is one picture, I'm not going to pre-bid on it. I'm not going to pre-bid on it if I only have one picture. So consider that. The other thing is our sellers on the Glass Gallery, good job to everybody for preloading. That was fantastic. And I think that actually went a long way. A lot of you were preloaded. And I think a lot of pre-bids came in, because I even sold a few items that I don't believe the buyers were even there. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, choice is a little bit different. Yeah, choice is hard to add the measurements. That is true. That is true. But yeah, so if you're like preloading and you're looking for, you know, possible, and you can get pre-bids. Let's see. We have a new calendar link. I showed that last week. It is under, find this. We have a new events calendar. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Here we go. Calendar of events would be right. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is contact us. We also have the community at knicknacks.net under contact us. Yes, you can go live from a Samsung phone. Yes, you can. So this is our 2025 calendar of events. It's a little bit different than we've done in the past. It's an actual calendar versus the spreadsheet. But you can see here our events. We have Clear My Shelves, January Blowout, Fast Friday Freight, Handmade Market, Meet Your Maker Valentine's Edition. All about Valentine's Day. So paperweight. I don't know. I think March. I think we're going to do paperweights in March. Yeah, I think March. Because February is Fenton. So March might be paperweights. Oh, yeah, the newbie train. Check it out. Newbie train, right? Oh, sorry. Newbie train is happening on the 11th. So this is for our sellers who are new to Knickknacks or new to going live, you know, who want to kind of like, you know, get their feet wet. And Elsie does the newbie train. So if you, are there, oh, there's many slots. I was just going to ask, are there slots open? So there are slots open on this. So if you're like looking to maybe try going live, and you want to give it a try, maybe you're a buy it now seller and you're like, you never like thought about it. This could be a great opportunity to just, you know, maybe give it a try. So I would encourage you to go to, so one thing you'll have to do is you will have to apply to go live, which isn't really applying. It's basically just a tutorial, but that is right here on the home page. Apply to go live. You're going to click on this, and then you will sign up for a tutorial with Sienna. Make sure you read through the guidelines. These are our guidelines. But yeah, so then you will be all set. Everyone is super supportive. I know I always encourage our existing sellers and members to pop in, give some encouragement. But yeah, yes, absolutely. Well, this is your opportunity to hop aboard the newbie train. I feel like the newbie train is definitely a great opportunity to, you know, just give it a shot. It might not be for you. You might do it once and you might be like, okay, this is not for me, you know, but at least you can say you tried it. You know, at least you can say, all right, well, I gave it a try. I decided it was not for me. But you tried it, you know, so you're good. So that is the calendar of events. Let's see. Sorry, I've still got this throat thing going on. Okay, so if you are a conductor, you are very welcome. If you are a conductor of a train and you do not see your event on the calendar, you need to contact Christina Moonsky. Do I mind you selling on other? I do not mind you selling on other platforms, but you cannot promote those other platforms on Niknax. That's the thing. But yes, I mean, I sell on other platforms. I sell on one other platform, but I sell on another platform. I don't mind you selling. No, not at all. I mean, I think it's important. You know, that's one thing that I will always say is important. Well, I had a conversation with someone recently about how, you know, there's another very large live selling platform that I feel is very cultish. And I feel like people are like, you have to only sell on this platform. But from the very beginning, I've always said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, like I don't think you should. I mean, for me, this is my live selling platform. This is where I sell live. But occasionally I will list my buy it now items in other places, you know? But I don't think that you should ever put all your eggs in one basket because you don't know what's going to happen. You know, that's why I don't always just post my videos to YouTube. I have Facebook. It's more than just, you know, selling. It's everything. But yeah, it's very important, you know, to diversify. So no, I do not mind if you sell in other places, not at all. Yeah, but there's no cross posting on district. That's actually a district policy that you do not cross post on district. You can move your items from marketplace to marketplace. Like you can go into the item and you can switch it to a different marketplace, but you're not allowed to cross post. And like I said, that's district policy. And every time you move it to a different marketplace, you do have to re-tag it. You do have to re-tag it. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, I do need to have some. Listen, I'm like such a coffee drinker. I'm like, I should have some tea, but I want to drink some coffee. But yeah, it's just like, it's not like I have a cough or anything. It's just like I get this little, I have to clear my throat. It's weird. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like I just have this. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it because I talk so much and I use my voice a lot. Yes. Oh, dollar start shows. I didn't know we were having dollar start shows. Dollar start shows. So here's my opinion on dollar start shows. I think, and I've said this since the beginning of Knicknacks. I always have felt, I've always felt that if you are selling on Knicknacks, you should always start at the least amount that you are willing to take for an item. I don't want anyone ever coming to me and saying, oh my gosh, I'm losing money. Like I said, I'm on all the whatnot groups and I see that complaint a lot. Like, oh my gosh, I lost so much money on this live sale. And I'm like, how are you losing money? Like I could see not making money, but how are you losing money? Why are you losing money? Like that's the dumbest thing. Like don't start your items below what you've got into them, you know, like you shouldn't be losing money. So here on Knicknacks, I've always encouraged everybody to start at the least amount you are willing or happy with, you know? So I can see why somebody would start about, I could see why somebody would want to start their items at $1 if they're just trying to clear inventory. Like if you've got inventory sitting around and you're like, I got to get rid of this stuff. I mean, I've had stuff sitting at my shop where I'm like, you know, I could donate this or I could start it at $1 and I can at least make $1 on this stuff. Like I get that. But one thing to keep in mind is that when you do stuff like that, you are driving down, like, you know, we talk about community on Knicknacks, and you know, when you are starting stuff at $1, and you are taking hits over and over and over again, you kind of are putting our other sellers in like a weird position because it's like, oh, well, I can go to, you know, this person and they're selling it for $1, but you know, it kind of puts the marketplace off balance. As far as like reporting to the IRS, like you should always be reporting your income to the IRS. That's it's weird to me when people are like, oh, the threshold is $600. And I'm like, listen, if you make $50, report it to the IRS. I'm terrified of the IRS. I've always said that. Like if they tell me, hey, give us some money, I'll be like, here's all of my money. Yeah, I got a really big refund last year because I gave them all of my money. In fact, I bought an Airbnb with all of the money I got back because I was like, here, take all of my money. And then at the end of the year, they're like, we're giving your money back because you didn't need to give us this much money. True story. But yeah, so you should always be reporting your income to the IRS, regardless of if it's like $600 or $100. That's my opinion on it. You don't want them to. I don't know what that means. I just let my accountant handle all of it. I'm just like, here, you can take it from here. But also, if they want money, just make sure you give it to them. So that's how we roll. You should be. I should be the one. Yeah, I should be. I probably should be the one drawing interest on that money. But I just want to make sure they're happy. That's my top priority in life, is to make sure the IRS is happy, and then my family is happy, and then all of you are happy. That's like the order of things, basically. IRS, family, everybody on Niknax, and then YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, everyone on Facebook, but YouTube takes precedence. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah. So next, let's talk about Fast Friday Freight. The signups will be posted today in the Gazette. Oh, I'm somewhere on that list. Maybe I consider myself in the family. Maybe I'm somewhere in the family. Fast Friday Freight will be posted today in the Gazette. The theme is going to be miniatures. So get all your miniatures out. All right. Where are they? Look, I got a whole, I'm probably not going to do it, but look at this. Get all your miniatures out because we're having miniature day on Fast Friday Freight. So if you're not familiar with Fast Friday Freight, wonder what size. I knew somebody was going to ask that. Ask 7 inches. Christina says 7 inches. No, never mind. No, 6 inches. She changed her mind. Is that a Tiffany? Yes, it is a Tiffany box. Yeah, I think it is. I think this is my sunglasses box. I got my sunglasses in this box. It is a Tiffany box. Good eye. This was my sunglasses. So, Fast Friday Freight, I could sell it, or I could store all my minis in it. I mean, it's gross now. It's got schmutz all over it because I store my miniatures in it. So Fast Friday Freight happens not every Friday, but you can look at the calendar and see when it's happening. And essentially it's every 15 minutes. It's a new seller. It's a new seller every 15 minutes. So it keeps it fast paced. I mean, and that's one of the things that we were focused on with Glass Gallery is let's do every 30 minutes because it keeps it like, the shorter the time, the quicker the pace, and it's like, and that has advantages and disadvantages because, if somebody really likes a seller and they're really into it, and then it's like, oh, new seller. Or if, a seller is like, oh, somebody's getting bored with a seller. It's like, oh, but then it's a new seller, so it has advantages and disadvantages, but it keeps the pace. It's really exciting. Now, Christina's like, let's do 4 inches and under. I'll tell you what, she's going to post it in the Gazette. She's going to tell everybody, this is the size. But I'm going to tell you guys, no figurines from China or Ukraine. 4 inches. 4 inches. Everybody votes 4 inches. We just made it smaller. 4 inches tall. That makes shipping a breeze. Do you mean no modern ones, nothing from Team. Oh, we have to do our segment. That reminds me. Handmade Market is the 24th. We took our I look over it. We took the calendar down. We got to put the calendar back up. It keeps throwing me off. Got to put the calendar back. Yes. We've had issues. Not issues. I talked about it a little earlier. That they are mass-produced wholesale items from artisans that are targeting sellers. So it's like they're basically wholesaling these items and then they're selling. Can I show examples? Yes, I can show you examples here. Here, let me show you. I just have to, I have my other computer over here, but I will, where was it? Maybe this was it. Here. Wholesale mini glass figurines, pack of 100 for $7.95. So you can buy a whole pack of those for $7.95. Or you can buy them on Knicknacks for $10 a piece. And this is why I don't want them being sold on Knicknacks, because I feel if I bought one of these for $10 and then I realized that I could in fact buy them on Knickknack or buy them on the internet for 10 of them for $7.95, I would be upset. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I don't want them on Knickknacks. How do you know the difference? Okay, so that's a good question. How do you know the difference? So one of the ways, and this is I've sold the glass figurines in the past. The provenance is very important. So for me, when I go to an antique mall, and I see a few in a case, and they have the vintage Japan stickers on them, they're just colored. They're little, like, you can tell by the stickers on the bottom, it's marked Japan. They're vintage. This is a vintage glass figurine. Same with the little Italian stickers. So looking at them with the provenance, you can tell. One of the ways you can tell if they're mass produced in bulk is if you're seeing a lot of them. All right. A lot of anything should clue you into the fact that these are being purchased in bulk for pennies on the dollar. Okay. So I know personally that I would be upset if I were to buy something for $10, $20, and then find out that, hey, I could have got this online for like $2. That's why, and I could pull up Temu as well. We'll do our you can't buy this here segment. Temu.com. We'll do this. Glass figures. Yeah, the Wades are fine. The Wades are vintage. I mean, look. I've got all my Wades. These are vintage. The Wades are vintage. That's different. I would say the Wades are vintage. But provenance is so important, with selling. And I won't say that I've been fooled before too, with provenance in mind. I've been fooled. So, I mean, just even if you're outsourcing and you see a whole bunch of that thing, that could be a clue to you as somebody who's sourcing at an antique mall, because it's also getting into the antique malls. Like, so keep in mind, like, if you see a lot of something, it's like, how did they get all of these somethings? You know what I mean? Okay, so here is, you can't buy this here. This is our segment of Temu. So I'm on Temu right now. Today we're looking up glass figurines. There's some really cute ones here. I mean, look at that. That's adorable. I'm just going to say that's adorable. Also, they're charging $6.17 for it. It's almost sold out. It's kind of cute. It is kind of cute. We've got these little caterpillars up here. Gosh, it looks like the hungry caterpillar, doesn't it? The very hungry caterpillar. It's $2.18. We've got dogs. $2.83. Let's scroll down. Well, they have, no, so these are little miniature figurines. Oh, I don't know. You know what? It was funny. I was actually thinking of buying some and showing you guys. Oh my God, look at these sheep. Got little sheepies. Let's see what else. Oh, I was thinking of buying this one. I was actually going to buy this just to see what it actually looks like because the image is AI. And I was like, but what does it actually look like when you get it? Like, just curiosity kind of got the best of me. And I was like, if the photo is AI, what does the product look like? You know, I'm so curious. This one, it's you see what I mean? Like, what is it actually? Oops. Oh shoot, I did the wrong thing. There we go. So another thing, you know, because I think, you know, obviously there's Temu. But another thing we're seeing is like Amazon. Amazon.com. So then we can do. So here there's, you know, 8 pieces here for $12.59. This was just over on Temu, and here it is also on Amazon. So there's a lot of overlap between Amazon and Temu, which I don't think a lot of people realize, is that the Temu products are also sold on Amazon, and they're sold about wait. A lot of people are asking about vintage reproduction. Pure stuff on here. Yeah, stay away from glass minis if you're uncertain. I think that's the best bet. Yeah, the keychains are I deleted some keychains off of here at one point. The ocean paperweights, yeah. Yeah, the ocean paperweights. So that's just kind of some examples. It's a shame. Yeah, Temu and AliExpress steal photos from other sites, including Amazon. Well, there you go. That might be why there's some. Oh yeah, we've talked about charity stuff before, and I've talked to you guys about how I'm kind of on the fence about it. As the marketplace continues to grow, it's something we're kind of keeping an eye on. And I'm going to circle back to that, but don't support Temu. I agree. You know, part of the reason not to support Temu or, you know, these companies is because, you know, a lot of these companies are basically taking advantage of like enslaving workers. You know, it's really bad. Like you can just look it up. Like it's really, really bad. It's not only is it data mining, but I mean, just look up the articles. I mean, they're basically like the working conditions for these people are so bad. You know, not just Temu, but like Shein and all of these, like it's so bad. Yeah. So if you want to do your research, I mean, that's why, I mean, even when I can tell you, like, even when Temu was reaching out to all of these, influencers and stuff, they reached out to me a zillion times, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. Okay, so charity. So what I'm talking about there is basically like fundraising or like trying to raise funds for certain charities and putting stuff, you know, selling stuff to raise money for certain causes. I'm not I don't want to say like, oh, I'm not opposed to that. But as the marketplace continues to grow, we're just going to be keeping an eye on that. I talked about it early on. You know, we had talked about raising money for some of our members who had been in accidents and stuff like that. But it's something that we are keeping an eye on. I know that other platforms have had to require proof that the funds are going to the cause that is stated. And that's, something that we're going to have to also keep an eye on, because as we grow, it's just going to, I don't know. For now, I kind of I know, I feel like I know you guys. But as we continue to grow, we're gonna keep an eye on that. We had a listing pop up over the weekend that I wasn't real comfortable with. I was like, I don't know this charity, and it's using my name. So yeah. In Canada, you need a charity number. Interesting. That's interesting. I don't know about that. All right, so let's see. Repros that are vintage. I don't understand, Christina. So, okay. So how do I feel about unboxing and items are dirty? So I am guilty of this, stuff that gets just pulled out of the box and it is dirty. One thing that I will do is, we will clean it before it gets sent out. I won't say that we get to every piece. Occasionally pieces will slip through. We're trying to do better about that. But you can ask. I get dirty stuff sometimes and it's really nasty. I mean, I would contact the seller. I would say, hey, hey, I've noticed, these things are, a little bit dirty. Would you mind cleaning them before you send them? And just see what the seller says. I feel like they might be like, oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't mind, doing that. So Mayfair biscuit jars. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be okay. As long as you would say reproduction. I know the biscuit jar you're talking about. So a problem that I would have would be like the Roseville that isn't actually Roseville, because that would fall under our prohibited guidelines of misleading. That would be misleading because it's not actually Roseville. And I know sometimes it's hard to identify which is the reproduction and which is the original. Yeah, museum copy pottery is okay as long as you state that. I mean, you just have to be transparent. That's what's most important, is being transparent about those pieces. You have a disclaimer that you don't clean items other than a quick wipe. Yeah, I think if the buyer requests, like, hey, can you maybe just wipe that down? It's up to the seller, and if the seller is kind of weird about it, then I would maybe just move on, find another seller. I mean, unfortunately, but that, that's, the seller's lost your business, and that's on them. Yes, Dano, that's right. And there are websites that show the reproduction versus the actual, you can compare. And also, after a while, you'll kind of get an idea for the painting. Like, some of the painting on the reproduction is really sloppy. Yeah, M Kim, come on over. We actually have chat channels that you are more than welcome to ask questions on. Let me turn you around. So if you're on Knicknacks, there are a bunch of chat channels here where you can ask questions. We also have our community chat. So, hop on into FAQ. You can ask questions. There's a bunch of chat channels. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read your comments. You are very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, any questions you have, feel free to drop them in the chat channels. I do not have an update on Canada, except that I believe we are waiting on Shippo. But other than that, I guess Shippo is dragging their feet. Yes, absolutely. When items are difficult to clean and easily damaged, I usually just include that in the description, like, hey, I'm leaving the cleaning up to the discretion of the buyer because I do not want this to get damaged. Okay, well, send me a message and I will look into that. Yeah, hey, if you're over on Knicknacks or Facebook hanging out, come and join us on, I'm sorry, if you're over on YouTube or Facebook, come and join us on Niknax.net. Niknax.net. Knicknacks.net. All right. Well, on that note, we've been on for almost an hour and a half. Does anyone have any more questions? I would be happy to answer. But otherwise, I think I'm going to hop off. You've reached out to Knicknack. Okay. Circle back, Sharon. Can you send me community@knicknacks.net? Send an email. Community@knicknacks.net. And I will make sure that that is taken care of. Actually, can you forward me the emails that you've received from support? And then I can pass those along and get to the bottom of that. Yes, don't forget Fast Friday Freight signups are being posted today in the Gazette. You can look for information there. But other than that, I think I'm going to pop off of here. I hope you all have a wonderful day. It is Tuesday. I think I have a jewelry sale tonight. I have it scheduled. Yeah, I got a jewelry sale tonight happening. I'm going to be selling some jewelry, so hopefully you guys can pop in and join me. I will have sterling. I will have a costume. I've been organizing. Look, it's looking better. I've been doing some organization, feeling good about that. But hopefully you guys can join me later on. I think it's 4:30, maybe. I might go on early, maybe. I don't have any jars, but what I'm thinking is I think I'm going to do the same thing I did last time where I might build a jar as I go and then sell the jar. So I think I might do that again. Oh, Andrew just got here. All right. Oh, the groovy train is also happening tonight with hard goods. So if you're not into jewelry, you can check out the groovy train. All right. So everybody have a wonderful day. And hopefully I'll catch you tonight. So long. Oh, wait, before I end this, I just want to remind everybody that if you ever have a complaint, if you're ever feeling a certain way, also if you ever want to like compliment me, you can always reach out to me. Let me know. I am always open to criticisms. Like if you are mad at me, if you're feeling a certain way, please reach out to me. I would so much rather you reach out to me than you like going to other people, talking to other people. Like come to me, be like, hey, listen, I don't like the way you're doing this. I don't like the way you're doing that. I think you're doing this wrong. Come to me. I'm not going to be mad at you. Like I welcome you to come to me so that we can talk about it. And I'm not, listen, we can talk about it. I promise you. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just come and talk to me. We can work it out. But anyway, I will talk to you guys later. So long. Have a wonderful day. Oh, Claudine is on. Let's go see Claudine. Here we go.